Hey folks, welcome to the channel. So in today's build, I'm going to be making a knife out of a pattern I want to keep reusing, and it's a model I'm calling the Thresher, after the shark theme. And this is one that I'll show you the pattern here. Okay, I printed this out on knife print, so I could just keep redoing it. This is what I'm going to do today in just using stock removal, just so I can test out the pattern. You'll see later on that there are some changes that, that I've made to the pattern, and I'll talk about those at the end. So join me along with this build. I love the knife, turns out really well. So let's take a look. So I got a piece of 1095. I put some layout markers on it. This is 1.5 inch by 1/8 inch stock. It's a little, I'm going to modify this pattern a little bit, but it doesn't quite fit on 1.5 inch. So what I'm going to do is draw it, pivot it, and then after I heat it, I'm just going to bend this part when I do the heat treat, or when I do the normalization. I'm just going to bend this a little bit, or before then. So first thing I'm going to do is mark this out. So now I'm going to take the grinder, grind this off a little bit, and then start to do my bevels. Okay, I've ground the profile. Honestly, guys, I'm not used to it going that quick. Getting this far into a blade so quickly. Just not used to the stock removal. So now I'm just going to put some bevel markers in here, and let's grind the bevel. So I've got the blade all sanded. It's sanded down to 1500, so it's almost a mirror finish. Looking good. So I'm ready to do the handle scales. For this, I'm going to use some black G10 spacers. And then, I forget the name of this wood. Goncalo Alves or something. I'll put it down in the comments, but it looks pretty nice, so we're going to use that. First, I'm going to glue the spacers on, and then I'll clamp the scales to the bottom. I'll drill through both sides and get them clamped up and pinned. Before that, of course, I'm going to, after these are set up, I will bevel my edges here for right here. Okay. Well, while this is setting up, I wanted to show you something on the blade. So, I don't know if you can see it, probably right there. You see there's a funny little kidney-shaped spot on the knife, which looks like, almost like I had a jamon or something. It didn't harden right in that spot on both sides. It's very peculiar. I kind of like it. I think it's kind of cool, but unexpected. It does go down to the blade, so there's no issues, but it just leaves a kind of a spot on the knife. But I kind of like it. So I don't have a 45-degree jig to do the bevels here, but I flipped my platen down to 45 degrees, and hopefully this will work. Okay, we've got the scales kind of profiled and sanded to 1000 with a nice bevel on them. Of course, that's because you can't get at this once it's on the knife. Now I'm going to glue the scales on, epoxy them, make sure the epoxy flows into all the cracks, and then we'll start shaping our handle. Thanks for joining me on this build. I think the blade turned out great. Just talked about some things I would change. You'll notice that in the original, there was a little more of a palm swell here, and I swooped this in just so I could put the curves into the handle. So that's one thing I consciously did as I was doing it. The only other change I would make is right here. Next time I'm going to modify the pattern so that I can use the small wheel to get in here. I had to do all of this by hand, and it wasn't much fun. So there's no reason that has to be such a tight corner. I'll fix it so I can use that small wheel. So that's what happens when you do blades like this in new designs. Things happen. But thanks for joining me on this build. My next knife is going to be the Mako, which is a full tang, a hidden tang version of this one with a guard. So look for that, and see you on the next build.